Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We are back here today in my fancy tank top, and why is that? That is because today we're going to be showing off my first war, official war, in For Loki. Now, a lot of it was really good, a bit of it was really bad, and we're going to go over all of that together. We're going to go over why some of it was good, why some of it was bad, and we're going to watch it together. Alright, so up first we have this Ebony Maw on Strike Counter Fury, Brute Force, and Power Focus 1. So, Brute Force plus Quake, that's never fun, but we're doing it anyway, alright? Now, what does this fight mean? Basically, what I want to do is I have to hit him every couple seconds so I don't degen, and he's also going to shoot up to a special one whenever I do that, alright? So we want to not do it too much, alright? So we want to like kind of do it a little bit in the beginning here. We also want to try and not trigger dexterity so we don't have that buff. But at this point now, he's very close to a special one, so I figured let me just Quake him for the rest here and just deal with that degen damage. I will pay one potion to not have to deal with the possible nullification from his special one. Makes sense? So from here, it's got about 20% left, and that should do it. First fight, great fight, no problems at all. Up next, we have this stealth Spidey, and we brought Omega Red with Sabretooth for this guy. Now, the nodes on this guy has one of those new nodes, Strike Counter Fury, and also armor and power drain with the special attacks. So what the strike counter is, it's where you get the 5 light attacks, the 4 medium attacks, and the 2 heavy attacks. When you run out of any of those charges, you have to throw a special attack or else they're going to continually gain passive furies. So what I'm going to be doing here is I want to trigger that evade right away, and then I'm going to lock in my degen. Now, I don't want to do another heavy attack or really any other attacks until he's just about out of that degen. Why? Because I want to let that degen do most of the work. Now he's going to start gaining the passive furies, alright? I could have hit him a little bit, but at this point, I just didn't want to bait a special attack. I'm not too worried about getting hit there because I have a plan. I'm going to hit him here, I'm going to toss off the special one, and I'm going to heal up everything he just took from me. So let's go for that right here. That was the plan all along. Let him hit me in the corner, build up my power meter, and then hit into him, and then heal. At this point, I know exactly when to do it so that I can heal up to almost full with Omega in War. I've been doing it for years at this point. Not years, but about a year, if not longer. Up next, man, if I had a time machine, if I can go back in time one time, this might be it. So let's look at these nodes here. Backup recovery, of course, but power snack. So this is a node that we haven't had in War yet, and this is my first time taking this fight. And the way it reads, I think it means that after 7 seconds, every single buff that you get will turn into a snack for the defender. However, what it really means is that from the beginning of the fight, every single buff that you gain will turn into a snack for the defender, and then that clock will reset every 7 seconds. So at this point, man, I was just trying to ride it out, and I was just like hoping that maybe I can get away with it. But then I was looking down at his power meter, and I was like, all right, he gained that half a bar of power. Let me just focus on Quake though. Then we're going, and then, you know, he's like, he got me in the corner here, but I accidentally dropped the heavy attack, man. So here I'm like, all right, maybe I should go for the heavy parry, but I went for the heavy dex instead, and he got a power snack again, right up to a special one, threw off his special attack, and now I'm poisoned again. And man, 2 things I would change about this if I can go back in time. Number 1, I wouldn't use Quake. Number 2, if I do use Quake, I would just do heavy and parry the entire time. So here's the node. Every 7 seconds, the next buff triggered by the attacker is immediately nullified. Each time this fight triggers, the defender gains 50% of a bar of power. So if you're gonna do this with Quake, you have to do it heavy parry, all right? That's good to know for the future, but I should have just went in with Omega from the beginning. So I went in with Omega to clean up here. The backup recovery is about to trigger. He's gonna go up to about 70%. Nothing to worry about there. There it is. So what I'm doing in this fight here, man, is I'm just kind of really playing it safe. Like, I couldn't possibly play it more safe in this fight if I tried. Unless I use, like, I don't know, an invulnerability boost and max boost. That's the only way I could have been possibly safer. I'm trying to push him to a special 2 while hitting him the least amount as possible. I also don't want to trigger dexterity at all. Now, Omega's poison immune, so that's not a concern, but I'm just a little scared of Mystic Dispersion at this point. I'm not 100% sure how much MD Clobber Time is running in this fight, so I got him to a special 2 now. I'm just going to block it, and I'm going to heal up a little bit from that armor break, and I'm just going to let the spores do the work, man. I'm going to end this fight at around 90% health, maybe a little bit more, and yeah, this man thing's down. Like I said, man, if I can go back in time, I would just go back in there with Omega like I should have. That's what my gut was telling me to do, but I was scared of the Mystic Dispersion possibility, so I went in with Quake, and I didn't realize that node was going to activate from the beginning, but lessons were learned, mistakes were made. It's all good, man. Not too concerned about it. We did end up winning the war, so it didn't cost anything. Up next, we have this Quake, man. We have this Rogue with Quake. I revived my Quake. I said, listen, Quake, I know you just got punched in the head by a giant green slime monster, but I really need your help here. We have crumbling armor, so you're going to be healing from willpower the entire fight. We also have kinetic transference, so you can't block. And Rogue is a flow defender, so what does that mean? That means that if we hit her and we crit, well, she's going to gain a whole bunch of power, and we don't want that. So we went in with Quake, and we just went back to our nice little Quake cycle, man. It's very relaxing, just quaking in the corner. Quake, shake, shaking all day. Not only quaking, but also shaking. No baking at all in this fight because we have kinetic transference. Yeah, and I mean, I'm just messing around here at words. There's not much more I could say. It's a Quake fight. We've seen a lot of Quake fights. One thing about this fight also is it also has Footloose, so that's another incentive to Quake it. And it also has, I think that's it, kinetic transference, Footloose. If it is the stubborn global, it's going to be really tough to Quake this node. So this is a great spot to put a stubborn defender or a defensive defender on this node so that you can't really Quake it easily unless you're doing like heavy only Quake, unless your name is Munash and you're doing that. Up next, we have another Quake fight, man, and this is an easier node. I'm going to path 4 in section 2, and I have a rank 3 Mr. Fantastic. Now I'm really excited to see this champion, and I'll tell you why in a second, but we have steady build up so that if we get 3 debuffs on ourselves, he's gonna go unblockable, so we can't let him throw any special attacks, and there's also a Spry, so we can't let him evade. Now, this is a rank 3 Mr. Fantastic, and let me tell you why it makes me very happy to see this. As you can see in the top right, you might recognize the name Clobber Time from YouTube, or he's very active on Twitter, and I happen to know him personally, and he's a very, very big fan of the Fantastic Four. We've talked about that a couple times, and he has like a lot of old school, like retro Fantastic Four books in his house, and it just really makes me happy to see like a rank up, like a rank 3 Reed Richards. That must be so cool for him, man. Like it's like how I ranked up like Thor Jane Foster, which is not like the best rank up. Obviously Reed Richards is better than Thor Jane Foster, a better rank up, but it's really cool that Clobber Time, his name is even named Clobber Time after the Thing, another member of the Fantastic Four. So it's just really cool to see that rank up, man. I didn't know he had that, so that's really cool. Let's move on, and this is where if I had another time machine, if I had a time machine with 2 wishes, with 2 time jumps, this would be another one. So steady build up unblockable. The defender has blah 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 blah. When they have 3 more debuffs on the attacker, the defender is completely unblockable. So what do we know about Havok? If he tosses off that special 1, we are going to get a lot of debuffs on ourselves. So of course we're going to try to not let this guy toss off his special 1. Now, when we were first getting our assignments for the war, I said I don't know about this fight with Omega. I think a Warlock should take it, and then, you know, the officers were like, do you want to bring Warlock instead? And I thought about it, and I ended up going with Omega. I said, I'll try it with Omega, and that was my mistake, because I had the opportunity to bring Warlock, or I had the opportunity to say, I shouldn't take this with Omega, this should be Warlock. And I could have, here's the thing, if I played this a little bit better, I could have done it with Omega. This is a rank 3 Havok, and watch this. So he's going back, the passive power gain, and immediately, he throws off a special 1. I wasn't turtling up, I wasn't being defensive, because I was trying, okay? I was trying to bait out his dash towards me, and then I went to dash back, and I didn't realize I had 3 of the debuffs on me, and he was unblockable, so I impulsively went to just medium him, just intercept him, backdraft him a little bit instead of blocking so I didn't get punched. Then I dashed back again, and he ran after me again. So mistakes were made. It's all good. First time that I took that node as well, so that was a second death. But I have a chance to redeem myself with this giant 6-star rank 3 Nick Fury mini boss. It's on the Power Focus 1, it's on Hurt Locker, and it also has the node where his special attacks will drain my power. So what do I have to do here, man? I have to really berate him with my attacks and try to push him to a special 2 so he doesn't toss off a special 1 and drain my power, okay? I'm pretty sure it drains the block. But anyway, as you can see, I'm hitting him really hard here into the corner. I'm going full combos against this guy to try to push him to a special 2, and I am up to 30 spores, and I just locked them in. 29. I locked in 29. I have a special 2 here in the bank. I'm gonna toss it off, and even that doesn't get him to a special 2 yet. But here he's got the 30 spores. He's almost at a special 2. I'm just turtling. I got a little intercept there, man. He's finally at a special 2. He tosses it off. I take a couple of the hits on the block just because I want to stay really close to him and have those 30 spores on him for when he reaches his second life, so I can do this. And now he has his degen locked in at 30 spores. I'm taking some more block damage. I can't toss off that special 2 because of the Hurt Locker. Here I could have tossed off a heavy attack to lock in the degen, but it wasn't necessary. I was just gonna go ahead and bait out another heavy attack, go for a full combo here, and just finish it off with a special 3. So I think I definitely redeemed my my Omega with this fight. That Havok fight was not pretty, man. The Quake fight against Man-Thing, mistakes were made. I could have won that fight. I don't know if I would have ended up winning that Havok fight even if he didn't throw that special 1 right away. That was a 6-star rank 3 Havok. That was a tough fight. But we know for the future, send Warlock there, and then we did send back up there with Warlock, and he went down no problem. But again, that's my fault for not suggesting Warlock right away and saying I'll try it with Omega. Next time I'm gonna say not doing it with Omega. But anyway, let's jump over here, man. Whoa, look at this. So we got this, the power rating, man. We got the power rating that Taters does, man. He gives out the cards, he gives out the Pokemon cards, and we have my Season 19 stats. So I had 7 fights, but we ended up sending back up to that Havok. So I got 6 kills and 2 deaths. My solo rate after 1 war is 75%. Adjusted difficulty rate is 10.15. That's one of the highest ones in the Alliance. So of all the fights that I took, 10.15 is pretty high. I'm not like 1,000,000% sure like what that means, but like it seems high. So solo rate bonus is -1%, -1. I don't know what that means. Power rating is 4.64. True difficulty rating per fight is 1.24. I mean, I really wish I knew what more of these meant, but it's fun to keep track of. And then the power rating in Battle Group 1 in 4 Loki is right now I am currently 7th, all right? So this was versus Omni, and our second war is versus ISO 8, all right? And of course that video will come as well. And the units over here, I use 0 units for that war. But yeah, dudes, this was my stats. These are my stats after the first war of Season 19 with 4 Loki, and there's one thing that I want to show you that's very important here. So this is the message that an officer in Battle Group 1, for those of you that don't know him, Clowny is Clown, he sent me after the first war. It reads, "Hey, just wanted to drop you a little note. Since we finished our first real war, you did great. Seriously, there's a proud 4 Loki tradition of newbies dying in their first war. Hell, even BG died. The point is that you're in wonderful company. We are super excited to have you with us," with the little arm. Now, why am I showing you this? Because this has to do with a culture in an alliance. If you are in an alliance where you start a new season of war and you die in a game, and you get an angry text message, and you get a message threatening for you to be kicked, and you get a message for pretty much telling you that you suck and that you need to get better and that blah 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 blah, and no encouraging words and no growth together, you need to find yourself a new alliance, because this is a game, and this is a top 5 war alliance, and I came into the alliance and I definitely messed up a little bit there, and we all grow together, man. Everyone's messing up. It's a new map. We're all growing together, and there's nobody stepping on each other. You know what I mean? And there's so many alliances where people just go on power trips and they put people down. And I've never personally been in an alliance like that, but I've seen many screenshots and I've heard many stories like that. And at the end of the day, people forget that this is a game, and this is one game mode in a game. And there's no need to be a raging asshole to people in a game over a game. Now, of course, do your part for your alliance. Don't be a jerk and don't, screw over your alliance. But if you're in an alliance where people are making you feel bad for making a little mistake, you gotta find a new spot, man. And that's one thing I've always respected about 4Loki, because they do it right. They are a top alliance, always have been in both AQ and AW, and they just do it right in every aspect of the game. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm enjoying my time in Battle Group 1 so far. But alright, my dudes, that's going to be it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed this first war of Season 19. If you did, please do me a favor and drop a like. Leave a comment what you think about that Havok fight in the comment section below, and subscribe if you want to see some more 4Loki Season 19 war videos coming to you very, very soon. Seeing you around.